EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martin here with your outlook for February 20th, 2019. We have a winter storm moving into the region today, and it will come in through the course of the morning. So if you're seeing this video early in the morning, probably not starting where you're at right now unless you're in one of these very far southwestern areas that are going to get into the snow early. It is going to come into snow, and there will be some at least moderate snow for most of this event until you get into later in the event, where we're going to have a changeover to sleet and then freezing rain. Right before you get to that, there's going to be a thermal gradient in between. It's going to enhance snowfall. You might get some, maybe an hour or two at 1 to 2 inches an hour after that point, but there will be some enhancement with that frontogenesis that's working in from the south and west with this system. This is an overrunning system, which means that there's warm air aloft overriding colder air at the surface, and the cold air at the surface is being supplied by this high pressure right here. Now, it is going to have its time, it is going to take its time coming down and falling to the ground initially. So you will have virga this morning, which is precipitation falling from the clouds. It's going to show on radar that it's snowing, and it's not going to be doing anything over your area until the column saturates and that's able to fall through that dry air. That is expected. So if you're watching this video, you'll know that, but there's going to be people coming in comments under here, I can almost guarantee it, in the post on the Facebook page that are going to say, this is a bust, it's not doing anything in my house right now. Well, if you pay attention to timing, reading is fundamental, pay attention to the video, okay? And you can inform them of that if you like, because it's very clearly stated that this is going to start off as snow. It's going to take its time initially, working its way northeast because of that dry air in place, thanks to this high pressure, but it will eventually break through. And again, we're going to go from snow over to sleet and freezing rain. Now, the GFS is still, and has been for the last couple of days, shown that the temperatures are going to go above freezing everywhere across our region and change over to rain, and that is likely incorrect. Okay, and we're going to continue with that idea because the GFS is not going to handle the low-level temperature profiles very well as a mesoscale model would. So let's go over to the mesoscale models and take a look at that. Here's the NAM high-res future simulated radar. I'm going to start this off at 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, your actual snow that is hitting the ground is back here at this point, in this heavier dark blue here. This out in front of here is falling from the clouds. It's going to show on radar that it's snowing, but it's not going to be reaching the ground yet because it's too dry. So this is known as virgas. This is going to be falling and evaporating, so not reaching the ground. This down here is reaching the ground, however, and it is moving to the north and east, and it will eventually, the dry air will eventually succumb to the precipitation. It'll start off generally light at first, and then it'll pick up in intensity as that air continues to saturate and the dew points come up. So that is expected this morning, okay? Just want to make that abundantly clear, because we deal with this every single time in every storm. It's not snowing at my house yet. Well, it's not supposed to yet. Just relax. So here is 9 a.m. Here's 10. So we get 10 o'clock, you continue to see it moving north and east. Here's 11. Most of the area is under snow at this point, except for far northeastern portions across the northern Poconos and parts of northern New Jersey. But we're getting some pretty good snow rates here coming down at this point. And once we get into the afternoon, during the course of the afternoon, we're going to see a transition. And it's going to be early afternoon in the western areas. It's going to be late in the afternoon over in these areas. It gets started later. Okay, and that's going to continue moving east. But notice here, this is looking at mid-afternoon now. Look at the darker blues that are showing up in here. This is the thermal gradient we're talking about. This is where the cold air is meeting the warm air advection coming in from the south and west. Where the two meet, they clash. This is frontogenesis, and this is some very heavy snow. So in that band there, it won't last a whole lot of time, but you will get some snowfall rates in there that are going to be 1 to 2 inches an hour while that's occurring. So it's not going to be the entire event where we're getting 1 to 2 inches an hour, but we're along that thermal gradient, you're going to have that heavier snow, and you'll know that the changeover is close when you get into that really heavy snow band, those really heavy snow bands, and it's coming down at that rate. And then you'll see the sleet and freezing rain continue to advance to the north and east again, mid to late afternoon for areas over here, but it's going to be early afternoon further west, and this is sleet here shown initially. So sleet counts as snow as far as the snow total is concerned. It is going to compact the snow a little bit. And this is whatever you have in snow and sleet combined is what our snow map was on the weather alerts page. You can take a look at that. It's not. It's still up there for everybody to view. The weather alerts page will be linked to this morning as well. And then eventually, during the course of the evening, we will change over from sleet to freezing rain. That's these purples here. And you see this is now looking at 7 p.m. You got plenty of freezing rain back here in south central Pennsylvania over to southeast PA. This is still sleet up in northeast PA here at this point, and then it's going to eventually take over as freezing rain everywhere. This is now 10 p.m. and your dividing line for plain rain down here. This is all going to change to plain rain down in these areas, but these areas are below freezing yet, right along basically I-78. So anything north of there or along and north of there are still below freezing. This is all freezing rain falling here at 10 p.m. on Wednesday. Eventually this will move out. Some of these areas will north of 78 will not change over to rain at all, and you will just end as freezing rain. And it looks like it's going to be just after midnight where this finally pulls out. Might be some spotty freezing drizzle continuing a little bit past midnight for those areas, but it looks like this is going to be out of here after that point, and we will be dry heading into Thursday morning. And temperatures are going to rise overnight above freezing in many of these areas except for the far interior, so there could be some school delays here on Thursday in addition to closings that are expected on Wednesday or early dismissals in far northeastern areas. One more look at this thermal gradient I want to show you. This is the high resolution rapid refresh. This is at max range here, but I just want to give you the idea that right before the changeover, here's the changeover, the sleet's right in here, but look at this right here. You get some very heavy snow in advance of that change over to sleet. So I do think you're going to get that heavy snow. You probably are going to miss out on that heavy stuff up here as you get closer to the Scranton-Wilkes-Barre area. I think it's more like, you know, maybe Lehigh Valley and points south and back to Harrisburg and points out in that, and west, south, and west of Harrisburg also. Down to Philadelphia, you probably get the thermal gradient as well. But up here, up in, you know, parts of northeast PA, I don't think this is your storm. So we have lesser amounts up in that area for that reason. And this system will continue. Again, we're not looking at the changing our rain everywhere like the GFS is indicating overnight. Just in the areas that I showed there on the NAM and the high res rapid refresh, it does the same thing where it keeps it below freezing, mainly north of 78 overnight. So this system will move out. It can be very mild here on Thursday, and but it will be dry, and then we're going to be partly cloudy here on Friday as well with high pressure in control of our weather. But that's not going to last too long. We're going to have another system that's going to come in on Saturday. It's going to bring us some showers. You can see that here, mainly later in the day and then continuing into the night. And these are going to just be periods of rain here on Saturday night, overnight, and into Sunday morning. I think it's mainly just a Sunday morning deal here for these showers, and then they move out. And then we should be okay in the afternoon. So it's mainly like a Saturday afternoon to do a 12 Saturday to 12 Sunday type window there. That's basically your window for rain, it looks like. But it is going to be rain from start to finish with this system. It looks like for through the weekend, and then we get a little bit colder as we get into next week, into Monday and Tuesday. Not cold, but just colder than we have been, or we will be over the weekend. So that is coming after this system. We're going to turn milder, generally milder for the next generally week or so. Maybe toward the end of the month we start to cool down again as we head into the month of March. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marters. That is your outlook for February 20th, 2019.